welcome back to this conversation. Let's put it for the moment like this. Apologies, 10 minutes late. Not sure if this is connected to the topic today, to the type of year that we are in. But it's been a while since we had conversations live on StreamYard. And I have searched for a way to log in, so I own it. So it's on me, the fact that we are late 10 minutes. And I'm curious how is this going to be connected with the theme of the 2024 year, to be very honest. Happy to be here with Markus again on a topic that is it's a passion for both of us. Hi, Markus. How are you doing? We haven't been talking for a year now, I would say. More than a year,
I think so as well. So thank you, Alina, for being here again on StreamYard. It's wonderful. And it was a really pleasure when we were getting in contact to say, okay, do we do a little bit of recap or refresh of all the people who have been watching us have been learning about the elements and the phases and how we can combine it. So
Indeed.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah. So like all things in life, things get created when people come together. So actually there was no plan, for something new. This was generated by our catch up after a year, in which you actually told me about, do you know in what type of year we are? And I said, actually, I don't. We live in this Western part of the world and we're not necessarily so aware or in sync or to a bit of let's say knowledge or wisdom that lives in another part of the world, which is mostly in Asia. And I thought, because we are coach and mentors and we function in this a space of relationship, I thought it might be valuable to bring this, because I think by now we do have large communities that maybe celebrate the new Chinese year. So we are aware for this is happening in our cities. We have these events, but how much do we actually know about what sits behind it, in terms of elements, of wisdom, of connection with nature. And so this is why, and we said, it might be interesting to bring this information forward and see how we can make use of it and benefit in this journey of 2024. 24. 20 years later. And thank you, Vlad, for wishing us being next to us and wishing us good luck for a new series. Who knows? We're starting here and we'll see what it will be unfolding. So, Markus, where would you like to start? Would it be helpful to, I know you've prepared some slides as usual, but would you like to say something before that, or should we dive in?
No, so again, thank you for being here. And you mentioned it already that we are feeling a special energy. Maybe it's maybe different than 2 years, 4 years, 5 years ago when there was COVID in the room. So I think we all feel something different going on. And also what I have been facing is that a lot of people are wondering about these kind of animals in the Chinese history and philosophy. So as I think we have already put a little bit of basis into the community in terms of the Chinese philosophy, I think it's really a good point to see, okay, how we can really use it maybe, because you may see that there are a lot of messages out talking about the year, and what I really want to do, or what we are trying to do, is to give a little bit of background how the people are getting to this kind of assessment, what's happening here. So I'm happy to be here again, and it's as open as always. Thank you. I have prepared a couple of slides, but I think it's always more interesting if you are maybe adding some questions, or if you have from the community questions which are coming up. So really to dig into the topic and maybe to add a couple of personal stories as well.
Perfect. So let me remind everybody that if it's anyone watching live with us, you can put a question, write a comment, whether it is through Facebook or LinkedIn, into the comments box, and we will see it and we will do our best to address it. And of course, for anyone watching afterwards, feel free to still add their comments, because we will get that and we will get back to you. So, here it is. This is the title. We're jumping in, so to speak.
Yeah,
So, yes, please.
we were
Markus.
thinking about really complex one, but I think the basic is really that we need to think about, okay, what means young, what means wood, what is the dragon year, where it comes from, and then to see, okay, how we can align it to our coaching and mentoring business, and what maybe it means for us itself, Yeah.
Perfect. Hmm.
Yeah, the year of the dragon. And maybe you are a little bit curious why we have a slightly different start date of the year.
Indeed, that
And
would be
maybe it's
quite
also
interesting.
strange.
That would be quite interesting to explain.
And maybe it's also interesting to understand, okay, why we also have a different ending point of the year. So, yeah, and really, if we are looking from the Chinese perspective into that one, it's a lunar calendar rather than our famous Gregorian calendar we are using here in our world, So normally the Chinese New Year falls on the second moon after the winter solstice. So that's normally or typically taking place or occurs between the 21st of January and the 20th of February. So to this year, with the wood dragon year, it starts on the 10th of, or it has already been started on the 10th of February, and it will last until the 28th of January 2025.
Mm-hmm.
So and that period, at least in China, there are always the people getting together. There's a big party over the country. People are traveling because that's one of the famous days also in China, where they are celebrating getting the families together. Just to as we are doing it, they are celebrating the new year. There's a specific difference as well. So sometimes it's already starting on the 4th of February, which is not the lunar calendar, but the sun calendar. So yeah, they are making it even quite complex for us to understand how it's really working, Good.
Indeed.
But as there's a cycle, and if we are getting onto the next chart here, it's really something what I would like to address, because we have seen the power of reflection, and the question to you, Alina, and also to the audiences here, really, that you may want to think back shortly about what has been happening in your life in 2012, 12 years ago. And also maybe a lot of people may have not yet been born, but 60 years ago, we also had wood dragon year, in 1964. So maybe you want to take a couple of seconds to think back what has been really impacting your life at this point, just to see when we are going through it, if you see maybe some things, some similarities.
Okay, that's a good point. So it is to understand that the cycle, it's actually 12 years, or how long is the cycle?
Exactly. The cycle is 12 years. And why that this is the case, I will do in a second. But
Okay.
if
Well,
you're thinking back, Alina, what has been happening in your life 2012, now I'm curious.
1964 clearly wasn't there. So my journey started in 78. And in 2012, actually, my second son was born in November. So that year was a year of marvelous pregnancy, so to speak. Many years, many things have happened, when personal life. Um, so yeah, I would say it was, if we could say, a year of creation. We yeah, we also, I think, discovered that our first son was he was diagnosed with within the spectrum, so there were a lot of moments of like news or things, new starts, new things to deal with.
Mhm. Good.
I'm wondering, how was it for you?
Um, I think there was also big of change being ahead, So I have been married for a long time, and it was a period of time when I was getting, or where I had the feeling, okay, there must be something new in my life. So it was really the start where I was getting separated from my family, and it was also where I found by accident a flyer in my mailbox at home about the Chinese medicine. So it was really in winter 2012 where I started to study Chinese philosophy and the Chinese medicine, which has been now really something which has been accompanying me for the last 12 years.
Wow, so you're actually starting a new cycle with this topic, let's say this year.
Exactly. So yeah. So it could be that if we are looking back a little bit over 12 years, or that there has been really a kind of a push or pull. You can you can look into that one from both angles, that something maybe has been, that the roots have been emerging, that something was coming out, that you had, made over the next years a couple of new experiences and bringing new ideas, which have been getting out of or into the world. Yeah.
And that is the symbolism of the wood, right?
Yeah, it could be the wood, but you were already asking, okay, why we have a 12-year cycle. So it was really in earlier times when the emperor was creating a kind of a race, and he was saying, okay, he was calling a lot of animals, and the animals who has been coming to him as part of the first 12 animals, they were getting really a special sign into the calendar. So the animals, once upon a time, they were getting together, and then they were starting the race, And you can see here on the small picture behind, there is the rat on the ox. So the first thing they needed to do in order to get to the emperor was they needed to cross a river. And because the rat was not very good in swimming, he went onto the back of the ox. But just before they are coming to the other side of the river, he was jumping off the ox and getting to the emperor first. So when we are looking into a 12-year cycle, it starts with the rat, which you see on top. And then we have the ox and 10 other animals, which are building here the foundation. And you can see the dragon on the right-hand side. It is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the fifth animal in the cycle.
Mm-hmm.
So that's basically how this is built up a little bit. And now you see the nice colors here. So each of the animals, if you're looking into the year cycle, is also related to our seasons, or you can say to the season. So the water is more for the winter. The yellow, the green is for the springtime. The red one is for the summertime, and the gray one is the autumn time. And in between, like in the seasons, there's always a period between winter and spring where you have the transformation period, and that is the earth, which we have been looking in last year, or in the previous sessions already. So between of the various phases, there is a move from the winter into the springtime, where the nature maybe is not sure whether it's still winter or is it getting spring, because it's maybe getting cold again, but it's not really cold because it's already spring.
Like now.
Like now. And that's exactly when we are looking into the 12 years cycle, so when we are looking into the years perspective from 2024, it's from a year's perspective, we are in the transformation from the spring period into the summer. So this year, it's more a transformation period from an overall perspective from the spring into the summer. So when you're looking back, 2020, when we had COVID, it was a winter period. We have been staying at home. We were thinking a lot of things. It was more that we have been inwards. So, and we are looking into the energy this year, it's more energy which is already a little bit going outside. Genau, exactly. And so that's a story about the yellow emperor. So you can find it, it's a myth, so it's not, I wouldn't take it for granted. So there's a lot of other stories about, behind all the other animals, why they're on the second, third, and fourth place. So if you're searching a little bit into the internet, you will find a lot of nice stories about it. But if you can remember at least that a cycle normally starts with the red and that we have 12 animals, it's already a good one. Exactly. Yeah, thank you for. Yeah, so we are moving this year from a winter rabbit. Last year the rabbit, and this year we're getting to the dragon. If you're looking through all the through the elements, through the animals, they are all real animals, So the rat, the ox, the tiger, the rabbit, you all know the snake, the horse, the goat, the monkey, the rooster, the dog. These are well-known animals. I don't know how the dragon was coming into play, because if you're looking into the history, we just maybe have an idea about the dragon, but it's not the real one. So it's also a little bit that we all have our own ideas or visions about the dragon. Some people are thinking that it has 2 feet. Some are thinking they have 4 feet. Maybe it's a green one, maybe it's a dark one, maybe it's more like a dinosaur, whatever, So there is a lot of myths also about the dragon. But basically, all the Chinese people are very happy. And what they are trying is to get as many children in the dragon year. So I didn't find really a statistics, but because they are a sign of luck, of success. In the Chinese world, they want to have all dragon children.
Interesting. So the dragon actually is, you're right. The way I look at this map, let's say, of animals, the dragon is the one that is mythical, so to speak, right? So it's a mythical animal rather than being, a natural animal, so to speak, if there is such a thing. It's in reality. So this is the only element that we don't necessarily find. And as you said, it's in our imagination. So it makes it unique into this 12 element cycle.
Yeah, exactly. So if we are looking into the real, how we can interpret the year, that is the reason why I've used the colors, which are well known to you already, because all of the animals are related to the 5 elements, more or less. So to the wood, to the fire, to the earth, to the metal, and to the water. So when we are talking about the dragon, we have an idea about what a dragon is and why a dragon is important and what it brings to us. Basically, when we are looking into that one from an energy perspective, it's related to the earth. The earth is giving you a stabilized, a grounding, a foundation, something where you are feeling home, which is giving you the strength that you know where you're coming from and the origin, And we talked about it, that we have a wood dragon year. That means that we have really a wood over the earth. We are getting to it a little bit in a few seconds, so to talk a little bit about the analogies here, a little bit more in detail. But that's basically how this is built up, So I would anticipate your question. Yes, we have a wood dragon, we have a fire dragon, we have an earth dragon, we have a metal dragon, and we have a water dragon. So when we are looking into 2036, 2036,
36, yes,
in
in
12
12 years.
years, in 12 years we will have a fire dragon, and he has quite a different energy, to what we are maybe seeing this year.
Okay.
Uh,
Well, I
we are
love this
moving.
with the, yeah, we are,
That's
I love this
important
book.
because you already get a grasp. If you're looking at this nice dragon, watching at the rabbits, what is your feeling?
Food for thoughts.
You don't want to be
Yeah.
the rabbit, or
Yes.
yeah.
Well, I
So
mean, it depends on the how we see, as you said, our perception or imagination of our dragon. It can be a friendly dragon, but how to
if,
train a dragon. Yes.
if there's one thing you want to take from these signs here with you, and I love to talk in pictures, because maybe you can remind yourself later on, after a couple of weeks, even the rabbit and the dragon. We also talked about yin and yang. So every year is different. So last year we had a yin year. This year we have a yang year. Yeah. So yin is more how do you call it? The female energy. It's more the
The
dark
female,
energy.
the moon, the darkness, the deep, the
It's more
water, the sky.
silent. Is
Yeah.
caring. So and this year, so we have a dragon, which is a young energy. So that basically means if we had changes last year, it was slowly. We had been thinking a lot, and this year there are maybe a lot of changes, but they are coming very rapidly. So they are fast changes. Something is coming up and then it's going away. So if you look into that perspective, the energy already is changing from the yin energy to the yang energy.
Indeed. So it's with yin and yang, we look at the sun, we look at the energy, we look at doing, of movement, of being loud, of being everything that it is in that realm that goes with summer. A lot of the things that go with summer, right? Because there's more movement. As you
The
said,
energy
also
which is outgoing, yes.
yes, outgoing, and it's associated with a masculine energy, but it isn't only in that.
Exactly. It's a prevailing thing because everything is all there, but there are things which are more important, or which have a different weighing. So this year it's more from a yang energy, but you're right. We still have the yin energy. Otherwise it's not working, It's all there.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Yeah. So
Ooh.
exactly. Oh. If you're talking about the wood energy, what do you think? What do you feel?
Well, you said it's the energy of the earth. I mean, this image it says it all. It's like you lie on the earth, face up, and you look at the sky, but you are in contact and you're calm and peaceful and connected and grounded and centered. And yes, so there is it's interesting because it can also be stillness. It can be nourishing, I think, because we are talking about the wood and the earth, resilient, I would say. So this is what comes to mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the wood in it. So we have a wood dragon. So what we are seeing out is a wood, and we can talk about the young wood and the yin wood. So here we see a big tree. So at least it's what I'm thinking of, and I'm thinking about a big wood. So it's a big tree. A big tree is on the one hand stable, but it wants to grow. So that's basically the energy of the wood. It wants to get up. It wants to be shown. It explores new ideas because there's also they are trying to take new opportunities, because it's really going up. And when you are looking into the business, maybe we will see a lot of innovation and creativity, because it's trying to go everywhere. It's going to try to be seen, and what's happening with these kind of, or with this wood energy, is also they don't like a lot of things beneath them, So that's, we need to be a little bit careful, So they are maybe even fighting for the light, which is upstairs. So if you're looking into people who have a lot of wood energy, there's a lot of competition. On the one hand, it's good because you want to get up, but on the one hand, if you're looking into how this is behaving to other people, the things which are next to you, it's maybe a little bit difficult. So if you would ask me what you may see in your coaching or mentoring sessions, it's maybe that people are coming and talking about how they could advance their career, how they're getting on the top, maybe to find a new job even, and maybe you will find, okay, that they are not always using the best methods, maybe they want to get hints how they can get to the top as fast as possible,
I'm wondering if there is also the idea of progress, right? Because it is a sense of movement, of growth, but that can be vertical or horizontal, right? But what I'm hearing is that it is it's not that it's a survival, it's a thriving thing. So it is a matter of how the grass, it actually is going to break the cement. So it is it's very strong. Doesn't need to be, it's like with a bang, but it gets there.
I totally agree. They are
It's
very
fierce.
strong. They need to break the soil, or the earth. They need to have a good founding. But I think there's a slightly difference between a small grass and this big tree. So yeah, you're totally right that you may have someone who has wood energy because he has a power, because he wants to do something new. He doesn't want to stay below and not seen, so but the grass is what you have been describing more on the horizontal, but a big tree is getting up to the top. So it's from a young wood perspective, and we have a young here, it's more that it's powerful, more aggressive, maybe more aggressive, it's faster, from an energy perspective. Does it make sense somehow?
It does make sense, yes, because indeed everything is moving. I mean, I'm talking with a lot of people, clients, colleagues, a family. They're saying that, when did we get in March? I mean, it seems only like yesterday we were in January. So it seems that there's perception. I mean, time is the same, right? It's unlimited. It's our perception that so something happened in this year where everything is moving very fast. A lot of things are happening. They're precipitating, and there is a competing for attention and resources. I think there is this competing, priorities, competing activities, so maybe a competition between our hats that we have. I know I have one, between the professional and the mother, and the daughter-in-law. So there, ultimately, it is a competition for the resources, my time, my energy. So it does feel more intense.
You already mentioned some very, very important aspect, I think, and which we need to take care of, Alina. That really, I think that there is a lot of things which are coming up, that there are a lot of ideas, that people are maybe very curious, and now what needs to happen is really to think about what you have mentioned, it's the priorities, because we cannot grow everything to such a big tree, there is maybe only one small grass which is going really to the top, So it's what you really mean. Okay, that one needs to get the energy. Yeah. Um, and I think from an health perspective, when we are looking into that one, it's really that we need to take care of our resources, our own energy this year. Yeah. Because um, the dragon, I think it's very powerful, and the wood dragon especially is very powerful. Um, and that he needs to be careful that he's not wasting his own energy. So he's really spending the energies for a good purpose.
Mhm.
So
Whatever that means. And that is a beauty, I would say, the beauty of coaching and mentoring, space where you can support someone to identify what a good spend of energy is and where do you want to go. And so this is how we can connect these pieces of wisdom. If we know, first of all, we're not surprised if more people are coming our way, because you can see the pattern, you also understand why it's happening, and maybe be able to share some of this, well, wisdom or explanation or connection with our clients, with our colleagues. And it sounds like there is a space for restorative and well-being and balance this year. So it is very much about achieving, because the dragon is very strong, competing a lot, generating a lot of ideas. But it is, yeah, what do we cultivate, what do we want to achieve, and especially not killing ourselves in the process, right?
yes, and you know that especially if you have maybe clients in big firms or bigger companies or even in startups, um, I'm going back a little bit from your private well-being and what you have mentioned with the challenges. But I had this week a lot of discussions where people were complaining. Everybody is looking at it's annoying, it's not going forward, it's going not fast enough. It's just typical, because for the wood energy, it wants to grow fast. And what we really were doing is how the managers, or at least my coaching clients, how they can help their employees or their teams to structure their work a little bit better, to really see, okay, what's important, what's making an impact. Yeah. So I think there are a lot of good tools outside as well, which you could use in your coaching and mentoring practice. And maybe we see a little bit of revival, how to set the priorities really. And for sure, yes, on the other hand, this could make people unhappy because they have to decide on one thing or two things or maybe three
Mhm.
things
To make choices.
to make choices. So I think it could be that so last year with the yin or water rabbit, it was a little bit of smooth. But now this year you may have a few more clients or customers, which are getting you in a position where you need to think about how you can make yourself or how you can protect yourself, and not to get into a bad mood maybe, because they are all complaining. So it's something where you need to think about how you can build your own resilience a little bit also.
Mhm.
Uh, so
And ground yourself, right? Because when there's so much energy, what I usually say, energy is emotion, right? So there's a lot of energy moving, and which can also be symbolically represented by a storm, a storm. And then what is happening during a storm is good to anchor, right? It's good to ground yourself, hence the strong roots of the wood. So, and also talking about that resilience. So if
mm,
it's that much energy, how do we cultivate these roots, so we can remain into the eye of the storm, so to speak?
wonderful.
Okay, so let's see what this is bringing.
So the wood energy is on the dragon, and I have mentioned, okay, that the dragon is more or less the earth energy, you know. And what else? I was thinking about, okay, normally I take something small like a stone, like a mountain, and this time I was thinking, okay, what is resonating with the earth for myself? And it's my home, you know. It's what I'm knowing. It's our own earth. It's where I'm coming from, where everything is growing from, where everything is available, where everything is transformed, you know. So the dragon, I thought, okay, with the analogy to the earth, it's really fitting into this kind of picture very well from my perspective. Yeah. If you think about, who was this, you know, this movie, I want to phone home. I think it was E.T., you know that?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, you know, that's something which is good. So when we are thinking about the wood energy, which is up, you know, that we need to think, okay, where do we come from? What are the resources, as you have mentioned, you know? And it's good. So that's really a strong combination that we are grounded on the one hand, that we get a lot of resources, but that with the young wood we are really able to grow fast and high, you know. So, exactly.
Okay, so let's see. Ooh.
Yeah. So if you take maybe a picture, you know, and we know that you can ask your, I don't know whether you're working with pictures or analogies with your clients, but I love it.
I do. I have a couple of pictures here that are looking at me, you know, like this, you know, they're to be different, you know, and you don't have to see the whole staircase in order to take a step. So, yeah, I have a couple of others here.
Yeah. So I was thinking, okay, how exactly so. Sometimes I'm asking my clients to take a picture, you know. So between the coaching sessions, they need to bring me a picture, which is really they can take with their mobile phone, you know, and they have to bring me a picture. And then sometimes we are talking about it and say, okay, how does it resonate? Why they have chosen this picture? Why it was taken in the morning or in the evening? So you have already a starting point for sometimes when, yeah, to talk about. So I was thinking about that one, about a tree which is standing alone, as we have mentioned, you know, on the earth, um, which really stays for the development over the stability. So, you know, okay, that's my place. I'm not moved. That's where I'm coming from, and I can develop anyhow. Where am I? You know, so you do not need to get to a different geography company. Yeah, a lot of people are asking me at this moment, I'm unhappy here. I'm not getting a salary increase. My how do you call it, PBC, personal business commitment, or yeah, whichever receiving. They said, okay, I should have been getting a 1 instead of a 3, you know. So I had already a lot of clients who were thinking about changing the job, just saying because I'm unhappy here, it's not fitting, you know. So and then we are starting to talk about which is maybe good, you know, and what they have learned in that space, how they can grow in that environment, but maybe what they need to do different, you know. Um, so and even here we had major votings last week here in my hometown, you know, and one of the slogans was development over stability. So I thought this is a good one, which is really reflecting the energy this year. Yeah,
Development over stability. Okay. Which is it
yeah,
sounds like who needs security. I think we can add to this, what was it, uncertainty, or not uncertainty, what is it, striving with change or changeability over security or something, right?
I mean, sometimes if you're not feeling happy in your relationship with your husband or with your wife, you know, before you're saying, okay, this is what, how that was giving you some kind of stability, you know, but you can think, okay, how can you grow together? So why do you need to get to a new partner? So sometimes, yeah, you know, it's not working, but that's basically what it means here. Yeah, what I'm saying, okay, is there still an opportunity where you can grow together?
Hmm.
Um, okay,
How am I
finding
contributing to this, and what do I want to create instead? And yes, my part, your part, ownership, that's what you're hinting to, right? So it is a
exactly,
dance of two.
exactly, and when we are taking this kind of Chinese philosophy, it's open, then the nature is going around in circles. We know that. But sometimes it's open, it's when we are looking into the solution focused coaching approach, we don't know exactly what's getting out of there. Yeah, what is the solution? It could be different. Yeah, but I think there are coming two things together which are working very nicely.
Okay. Ready to move on? Ta-da.
Yes, one more analogy. So when we are getting a little bit more deeper into, and maybe you want to look what we have been talking about, the wood energy or the when we were looking into that one last year or 2 years ago, from an analogy perspective, it's related to some of our organs, meridians, and the gallbladder. So the gallbladder is the one in the body who is making the decisions. And also when you're looking
Gallbladder
into
is making the decisions.
maybe the heart, maybe the whatever, but basically, when you're looking into that one from a Chinese perspective, it's the gallbladder. So it's a slightly different view on that one, And on the other hand, the gallbladder is related to a general, So, and I thought this is a good one because a general is always standing on the mountain. He is looking what is happening around.
A
Uh,
helicopter view, right? So it is, you have the
exactly.
upper hand. Yeah.
So he needs to have the vision. He needs to have the, how do you call it, the long view, more or less, the strategic view. He needs to look carefully out what is happening, how their own teams are behaving, how they are feeling. They need to be brave in order to make good decisions, and on the other hand, they need to take care of their teams. To decide, okay, what is a good next step forward, or maybe you have to move backwards. So if you're looking into the one famous book, how is it called? Sun Tzu. I don't know whether you know that. Sun Tzu is the art of
War.
the art of war. Thank you.
Yes, the art of war. Yeah.
Um, exactly. So, which is stated more or less there, is that you need to take care of what the others are doing, but also of yourself. Because if you don't know what your enemy is doing, what the other people are doing, it's getting maybe a little bit difficult.
Right. So that was with the vision. And we also need courage, right?
Courage. Yeah, exactly. And I think when we are thinking about the dragon, this is nice.
It goes without saying, the journey to yourself is the most difficult. Yeah, we were talking about a storm. I think that's what I'm seeing here. This is, well, it's not because it's the water, but it can be. You can see also like a tornado, a little bit of a tornado, and then you have the eye of the tornado. So somehow we're kind of coming congruent with all these metaphors, I think.
Yeah. So from my perspective, I think now you have, so that is a reading for the year with the energy of wood above the earth. So we have in total, when we are looking into the 12 animals and the 5 elements, we have in total 60. So after 60 years, we have all combinations. So there are 60 combinations basically in terms of the elements. And maybe what we have been talking about today is resonating a little bit with you, or you're saying, no, I don't understand Markus or Alina are talking about. Then maybe you do not have this kind of wood and earth energy in your, as a main energy in yourself. So what I'm always inviting the people I'm working with is to think about, okay, what does the wood means for you? What does the animal means for you? Is there anything which it's resonating with you even more? So I think we need to see, okay, what's happening in ourselves? Do we have this kind of energies? Do we feel good if we grow upstairs or very high and being a little bit aggressive to get our place? Or do we say, no, we are not that person. I don't feel comfortable doing that. So I think it's important. There is no answer which is saying, okay, this is good one or that is wrong. I think we need to understand, okay, what are our energies and how we do interact with the energies of the other people. Yeah. So we need to think about if there's this year a lot of powerful energy coming from outside, a lot of charismatic people who are maybe trying to convince you of something, that you need to think, okay, what is that doing with yourself and how can you accompany with that one so that you are feeling good with that one. Yeah. If you're yourself maybe a wood person, you're maybe getting into a competition. If you're saying, no, I'm not this kind of wood person, you're saying, okay, do it, feel happy, be happy, yeah, but you need to see, okay, how you can cope with that one.
So it is very much about reflection, I would say, and the reflection practice, it is, well, what is it? Bread and butter for the coach and the mentor, for the process, for us as professionals. So there is an invitation to know yourself, because that is the power, right? So and yeah, kind of that's why we're bringing also this conversation, because it might not be relevant for everyone, but it might resonate with some people, and everybody works with different threads of information out of this world.
Yeah, it's the power of reflection. You mentioned it.
It is the power of reflection, indeed. Ooh, I was looking to see what was the year of 78, and I saw it's a horse. So I was like, okay, so my year when I was born, I'm born under a horse. I'll be very curious to see what a horse does in a dragon year, but okay, never mind. We'll see that.
Yeah, and you are an earth horse.
I'm also on Earth. Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah, what is, yeah, 1978 means what we have been talking today. There's no wood on top, but there's the earth, and you are the horse, which is the fire. So you have inside, you have a lot of fire, but to the outside, you seem to be like a very calm person. But I think there's a lot of power of fire inside you, which wants to go out, and where your earth sometimes is saying, okay, be careful. Yeah, what maybe you're facing of yourself is that sometimes you're using the earth, in order to get the fire out. You can use water, but you can also take the earth. So maybe you find sometimes yourself in a struggle and saying, okay, I'm outgoing, and on the other hand, sometimes that's kind of an interplay.
very interesting. Very, very interesting. I think my family can say something about the fire.
Yeah,
Always.
but that's, to be really honest, what we are talking here about, it's just the year. So the month,
Yes.
and
But there's a
the
lot of
day,
combination. Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
day has also this kind of 60 combinations. So I think we are much more of what we have been talking today. We are just looking into the year, because otherwise, if you're getting a school class or if you're getting into somewhere else, into the university, you say, okay, they are all 24 years old and they need to behave all like a wood dragon, but they are not doing it because, yes, they have been born maybe in that kind of year, but you have maybe a special combination on your birth date, so really on the date of the birth. So, and this combination is even more important for your personality.
Very interesting. No, of course, I'm also aware of time, and I see here that you mentioned that this is a good year, yes, and where it's good to slow down, maybe, or live in time, or leave some space.
There are a lot of things which were getting into my head, So the first one is first thing and then act. That's the first one. Yeah, better thinking than
Helps
just
every
acting,
year, I would say, but more this year. Yes.
Yeah, but I think especially with the energy which is trying to make us to act like, act powerful, it's time to think before. So and for these people who say, okay, I don't like this here, or who now wants to move very fast, also think about the timing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so take your time, think about what you really want to achieve. Don't make it immediately, but maybe, with the earth, think about when it's a good starting point, really, maybe, and that means here better to leave in time. That there's also the right point in time which you need to take care of. Not just to start like hell and then waste your energy.
It doesn't help to hurry. So when we were, I was looking, like, for the way to mean to come into this place and everything, and you keep saying, just breathe, and calm. I said, I'm hurrying calmly if there is such a connection like this. But yes, it's good to live in time. I mean, and allow time and allow space. I think it is also good.
It's even more to really have to find the right timing in terms of when you put your new ideas in place. Maybe you need to think a little bit more. You don't need to start tomorrow, but maybe you can start in the summer or in the autumn. So it depends on what. But the energy in this year is good to start something new.
Mm-hmm. For beginning, so it's favorable for beginning.
It's favorable for a beginning. It's for a change. If you want to do something different, I think at least you are getting a little bit the support of the energy of the year.
Okay.
And for the people who have a lot of earth, which don't want to move to create something new, I was thinking about the Atomic Habits. I don't know whether you know the book. Sometimes it's good to start small, but at least to make a decision and to make one step after the other. So for the people who are very cautious, making new things, but sometimes they may have to do something new, or maybe they want to change their habits. Start small, do daily changes, and you're getting to big results anyhow.
So I'm guessing that this card, which is, you don't have to see the entire staircase to make the first step, can also apply, because it is also about small steps that you have to make, and it's toned down, and see how you see progress. So it's more about creating. The beach is created from each grain of sand, right? So it's a little bit about patience, I'm hearing.
Yeah.
This year, and the build up.
Exactly.
So, my God, 53 minutes into the conversation. I'm wondering where are we, and what yeah, we are here almost at the end. For you to be connected, with Markus, if you want. It's I think nowadays it's with the QR code. Yes, all our phones have it to scan it. And what would be some of the ideas that, well, if you are to summarize 3 ideas about this year?
It's a dynamic year with a lot of energy for good business, for new business, for for being lucky.
Lucky.
Yeah. Because the dragon is a sign for the luck, and for the wealth as well.
Abundance.
Abundance, maybe, yeah. And I think what wood people are normally, if you're a wood person, you're also a person who is caring. And the earth is Mother Earth, it's also caring. So I think this year, on the one hand, we are saying, okay, it could be aggressive because they want to have a competition. I think in general, there will be that we need to think about partnerships, that we need to think about, okay, what we can do and achieve together. Yeah. So if you're thinking maybe you need someone else in your coaching or mentoring business, someone else who can bring some kind of ideas into your clients. So I think it's really a good time for mentoring, for supervision. Yeah, to be open to get feedback. Yeah, in order to grow yourself and your clients.
Okay, so it's growth. That's what I'm walking out with. It's growth. It's a lot of energy. It's growth. It's
Mm-hmm.
about getting grounded, um, competing priorities, but also keeping the balance with resources and deciding where do you want to invest your time and energy. I think it applies in every year, but especially when there is a lot of energy in motion and a lot of possibilities, right? Much
Mm-hmm.
more. um, this will be much more invited, much more challenging, much more used to have to make choices and take decisions. And maybe some of the clients will be challenged, especially the clients that are not so keen in making decisions. They might be challenged this year because yeah, it's strong and it can be constructive or destructive, as it is yin
Uh,
and yang.
exactly, yeah. So it really depends on the situation, how you're getting together with the people. But yeah, that's, as you have summarized it very nicely, be careful with your resources
Be careful
and
with your
use them
resources.
and use them wisely.
Right. So I think it's very good to care for yourself. Be compassionate with yourself amidst of everything. Be caring with yourself, not only with others, although the tendency is to go out, also go within, right? So try to keep one eye in outside and one within. Thank you very much, Marcus, for this journey. I learned quite a bit. I didn't see that 12 signs, and it's much more clear now what the young wood dragon stands for. And thank you very much for sharing, well, your knowledge and your wisdom with us. And I hope it is helpful for anyone who has watched it. But I enjoyed very much the conversation with you, and I want to thank you for your time.
Thank you for being with you and with the team here. Yeah.
Yes. And who knows what the year will bring? It's a year of ideas. So, as maybe Vlad was saying, it might be a new series. We'll see. It's a year of creativity and beginnings. So, we'll see what the year will bring.
I have been stealing, or I've stolen one expression. A life full of wonder is a wonderful life. So related to the creativity, maybe we see a lot of wonder which are happening around us, in us, with us, next to us. So I wish you a wonderful life.
Thank you, and a wonderful year. And on this, lovely people enjoy spring, this transition from winter to spring, or maybe from summer to autumn, wherever you are in the northern hemisphere or in the south, because hey, the earth is round. And see you next time.
Thank you. Bye.